Alright, hi you guys. I am back on as promised. Again, you will not be able to see me, but you definitely can hear me, ensuring that volume is up here. Also feel free to read the subtitles. I'll try not to mumble so much. It is occasionally inevitable. I apologize. But let's go ahead and jump right into 1 Chronicles. We're covering part 2, and we're covering a few extensive lineages. We start right around Abraham, and then we're going to go all the way down to the sons of Ezra. And again, this is going to be Ezra with an H. It was actually very difficult to locate exactly where Ezra was. Let me go ahead and just double check something real quick. I may need to restart, assuming that I did or did not get everything that I was supposed to get. Chronicles. Ezra. So I think we were supposed to go all the way up to after the tribe of Judah. If I did grab everything, just bear with me a few seconds here. Sons of Ezra to chapter 4. Okay, you know what? I think we did what we were supposed to do. Yep. Because where Ezra lands, he is among the clans of Judah. It doesn't describe that he's expressly related to Judah or who his father was and who that person's father was. So it was hard to place him, but this is just, he is among the clans of Judah. So that's where we're going to end today. From Abraham all the way up to Israel's son, Judah. As we remember, there are 12 tribes of Israel or Jacob, right? And 12 tribes of Jacob. Judah is one of them, one of the largest. It actually is the largest and the first. He was not the first son, but the largest. So that's why we're covering it. Sorry for jumping all around today. Let's go ahead and get right into the quote here. Take a quick look at it. They never forgot that even the dreadful martyrdom must run its course. Anyhow, in a corner, some untidy spot where the dogs can go on with their doggy life and the torturer's horse scratches its innocent behind on a tree. Only God can tell the saintly from the suburban. Counterfeit values always resemble the true. Neither in life nor in art is honesty bohemian. The free behave much as the respectable do. This is also from Auden. This is titled New Year Letter, or from the New Year Letter, 1941. So this is a very thought-provoking quote. It actually sounds familiar to me because we read it not long ago. But breaking this down just a little bit further, right? We're going over these lineages that existed on the earth during a period, essentially filling the earth many times over with just a few individuals. So remembering, right, the good, the bad, the ugly, remembering that we are all one. We are all one, coming from, one spout or the other. We have to pay homage to all these lineages, the good, the bad, the ugly, due to the fact that that's where we come from, right? It's just paying attention, being honest, right? Being honest, it might not be the popular opinion or the trendy opinion. Everyone likes to say, oh, well, I'm, an alien, right? I'm not really from here, but, by root, right? By blood, you are. We're all a part of this line here on earth. And again, the good, the bad, and the ugly, even the dreadful martyrdom, right? Even the dogs or the torturer's horse, right? Even the most minuscule characters are very important to helping this earth work and helping everything circulate as it should, having life run its course, right? And how we distinguish, right, heaven and earth. Earth has some dark spots. It has some untidy spots, things that are not pleasant, right? We have the saintly and we have the suburban. But only God is able to survey everything from his point of view, right? He's the one that is to judge, and he is the one that's to tell, what is the counterfeit and what is the true. But yes, we can make certain assumptions, about the dark spots and the untidy corners of the earth, and how, some things are better than others, but that is not fully our role. What we need to do and what our main role is to remember that we are all one. And even the chosen go through some very unsightly and terrible things. As we have read here, Israel goes through some very difficult times. Judah goes through some very difficult times. Even the people chosen by God specifically, or ones who devote their lives to God, they go through what is listed here, martyrdom, right? They go through all these unfortunate things. Jesus Christ himself was killed. So remembering, this is not our heavenly dream, right? There's still some very dark and untidy spots on the earth. It's not perfect by any means, and it also teaches us that these lineages, as I'm putting more in and putting more together, I'm realizing, some pieces are missing, even though this is a very meticulously recorded book, as we discussed. They put a lot in, but there's some parts that are definitely missing, left out, mistranslated, not fully understood. Things get lost here and there. But this is essentially what this is saying, and I've tried to tie it in as best as possible. Without further ado, let's go ahead and begin. Let me just close the door because it's very hot today. It's too hot today. So we're beginning here with Abraham, and this would be Abraham, the father of Isaac. So it says Abraham was the father of Isaac. And then, let's see, father of Isaac, and I think I'm leaving a line out. It says Esau and Israel. So those were the sons of Isaac, which trying to tell me that I did leave a line out. Okay, yep, it's going to be here. The sons of Isaac are Esau and Israel. And it's listed here as Israel, but we do know this to be Jacob. This Israel was actually the Lord's name given to Jacob, because he would be soon the father of Israel. Truly, Israel was not around yet as a country, as a territory. It was not in existence, but there was this individual, Jacob, who was named Israel by the Lord. So let's go ahead and go down. Let me get back to my tab. So we have, here's Abraham here. And Abraham had other wives. It was not just Sarah, right? But we do have Abraham and Keturah, who was a concubine, or just another wife. And then we have Abraham and Hagar, who gave birth to Ishmael, which is actually a lot of where our Muslim or Islamic population comes from, is under the line of Ishmael. Let's go ahead and scroll back so far. I did shorten these tabs just a little bit, makes it easier to scroll. But we do know that from Jacob we have a ton of individuals, given that he had the 12 sons who then became the 12 tribes. So now I'm just trying to find where Abraham originally gave birth to them. Any day now. Simeon, Israel. Okay, here's Israel, right? Jacob. And this is where, right here, is where his sons start. So Reuben was the first, okay? Reuben, and then we can go on and down for the rest of the 12, which we'll do in just a second. Every time I try to zoom, sometimes I end up regretting it. Okay, so we see this, right? Israel, Jacob. I was trying to find Abraham to see who would be up here. Here we go, Abraham and Sarah. Again, from this line that we discussed, Arphaxad gave birth to, or not gave birth, but was the father of Shelah, Eber, Peleg, Reu, Serug, Nahor, Terah, and then we have Abraham and Sarah down here, who gave birth to both Isaac and Esau. Excuse me, Isaac, just Isaac, and then Esau. Isaac was the father of Esau, and then we have here Jacob right here. Okay, of course Esau had a lot of children of his own. Okay? But anyways, we go down to Jacob. Let's see what's next. I have to go back. These were the sons of Israel: Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah, Issachar, Zebulun, Dan, Joseph, Benjamin, Naphtali, Gad, and Asher. Judah's daughter-in-law Tamar bore Perez and Zerah to Judah. So we will be focused on Judah today, so let's go ahead and get over to him. Again, remember we have the Reuben, we have Simeon here, we have Levi, and here we go. Here's where Judah begins right here. And Judah, like I said, was the largest tribe. So we have a lot going on with Judah. Here's Tamar and Judah. Again, Tamar was actually Judah's daughter-in-law, whose husband had died. And Tamar kind of tricked out of prostitution almost Judah into sleeping with her. Tamar had tricked Judah. So given with that, right, with the trick, we actually have a very extensive line to follow. Perez, Hezron, to Jerahmeel, to Ram, and then they of course had their children. And this is the sons of Jerahmeel. We have Ram, Bunah, Oren, Ozem, Ahijah. Then they had their children, but it stretches, right? It stretches, and eventually we'll get down here. But let me look to see. Okay, sons of Perez, Hezron, and Hamuel. Or Hamuel. Okay. Perez, Hezron, there we go. And the reason why we don't see Hamuel here is because the line of Hezron went down so long and stretched so far that he's going to be somewhere over here. It's separated them just because of the length of the Perez. Okay. Let's go ahead and continue. The sons of Carmi, Achar, who brought trouble on Israel by violating the ban on taking devoted things. So Carmi was actually a bit difficult to locate. Again, it doesn't say who Carmi's father was, so I had to do a little bit of research. So let's go ahead and just search here. Carmi, and there's two as well. So Carmi ends up being right around here. Apparently he is the son of Zimri. And remember we talked about Hamul, right? Perez and Hamul. There he is right there. So Zimri was a brother of Hamul, son of, oh goodness. You see this, you guys. It was much more fun putting it together than it is looking at it this way. I understand that. Anywho, it stretches so far. It's so hard to go back unless you're doing Control F. But anyway, here we go. There's Carmi. Just going to place him there based off of the research. Anyways, the sons of Hezron, the sons born to Hezron were Jerahmeel, which we discussed, Ram, and Caleb. Okay, Ram was the father of Amminadab, and Amminadab the father of Nashon, the leader of the people of Judah. So let's go back to Amminadab. Here we go. And there are multiple. Okay, here we go. So Ram, right? We have two Rams too. We have Ram, the son of Jerahmeel. We also have him listed as a brother, which does not make too much sense, but somehow it was written that way. Okay, so Ram, Amminadab, Nashon, Salmon. This is actually a very important line here. Boaz, Obed, and Jesse. And who comes from the line of Jesse? We have King David right over here. David. Okay? And eventually Jesus, right? Alright. So very, very important part of Judah. Jesse was the father of Eliab, his firstborn. The second son was Amminadab. The third, Shimea. The fourth, Nathaniel. The fifth, Radai. The sixth, Ozem. The 7th, David. Their sisters were Zeruiah and Abigail. Abigail was the mother of Amasa, whose father was Jether the Ishmaelite. And so if we look, David had a lot of wives, right? So therefore he has a lot of sons, and they just extend. But we do have Abigail. We threw her in after David. And sometimes it lists the sisters, sometimes it doesn't. But when it says sister, I go ahead and find her. So look, David in Jerusalem, more sons, right? So it stretches. And when it's going horizontally, you guys, when I say it's stretching, it just means the amount of people, right, and the land, not necessarily time separating. It's just the amount of individuals, their descendants, and then the land covered by such descendants. That's why it's so long, right? You see David's line is so long. Going vertically, that's how we can think of time. So obviously they're going to be in the same generation. We have Abigail giving birth to Amasa here. All right. And let's go on here. The sons of Ram, the firstborn of Jerahmeel. We have Maz, Jamin, and Eker. Okay? Because remember we did talk about Ram being the father of Amminadab, and Amminadab the father of Nashon. But it's also listing Ram as a son of Jerahmeel, which makes sense. Oh wait, Jerahmeel. Oh, you see, that's why it's listed twice, because the sons born to Herzon is also, we have Ram there. So Herzon had Jerahmeel, Ram, and Caleb. And then Ram appears again. He appears again as the son of Jerahmeel. So that's why it was listed. I was a little confused. I thought maybe I had made a mistake. I feel like it's easy to do. But let's go back and see. Okay, so we have Ram here, right? Son of Jerahmeel, which is what we were discussing just now. And then Ram is also the son of Herzon. So again, showing up again, just the same name. We have just a repeat of the same name. But here are his sons here. Okay. You can see just reading this, it's so hard to picture, but actually looking at it, it's like, okay, I kind of understand. Then we have Zabad, the father of Ephlal. Ephlal, the father of Obed. Let's go ahead and see where we have Zabad. Again, not really super clear. Oh, here we go. It's right here. So, there's two, because this is under Joseph. Here we go. So, son of Nathan. Okay, eventually, because you see also, this is so much, but you see how I actually had to finish out almost all of these chapters, at least the first 9-10 chapters, to be able to fill in, everything, because I wouldn't have this information if I didn't know the people who went before and such and the connections. So I actually had to put in way more than what's read and what we're covering today. But here's Zabad, okay, descendant of Jerahmeel, because after Nadab it was Seled and then Apiam. His son had Ishi, Sheshan, Eli, Jara, Attai, Nathan. Here's Zabad, down here. Okay, we're going really deep into the generations, and something interesting too. Say I highlight this, 37, you can see who's sharing the generation. So he is in the same time after King Solomon. We have Rehoboam, and he's in the same time as King Abijah. So we can actually see that of Judah, right? Same time. And I'm sure we can think of Israel's kings or somewhere, but anyways, we're covering Judah today. So that just gives you an idea of the time. Let us continue. Zabad, the father of Ephlal, the father of Obed. The sons of Jedi. We have Regem, Jotham, Geshan, Pelet, Ephah, and Shaph. So Jedi, let's figure out where Jedi is. Jedi. Oh, look at this. Where is he at, you guys? Great. Jedi. Oh, excuse me, I just misspelled. Alright, here we go. So Caleb and Jedi. So interesting, because it says the sons of Judah. We would assume Judah is a male, but it's actually one of Caleb's wives. We see here their sons, Rejum, Jotham, Gershom, Pelet, Ephah, and Shaph. Okay, and it's interesting too, Caleb we don't talk too much about, but Caleb is also another individual who had extensive lines, just a lot of stretching going on. A lot of stretching. He had a lot of children and such. Just one of the other reasons why the tribe of Judah was so large. We have a few different Calebs, but there was this one, right? Caleb and Azubah, Caleb and Ephrath. They had a ton of kids. Okay. Anywho, moving right along here. David reigned in Jerusalem 33 years, and these were the children born to him there. And of course we know David had many kids, and then we're just going to go ahead and look at his time in Jerusalem. So again, he has all these, before his reign too, all these children, but this is all of them. I didn't even list all of them in our reading, but all of them. Ibhar, Elishua, Eliphet, Noga, Nepheg, Japhia, Elishama, Eliadada, Eliphet, and then Tamar, their sister. Okay. Not the same Tamar as before, by the way. New Tamar. Okay. And of course, these generations, you guys, they stretch down. Not all of them are going to be listed, obviously. We'll learn in the later tribes that will actually tell you the number that was in their tribe. But of course, there's many, many generations. We're just covering the bare minimum here. Okay. Sorry, guys. I have to switch tabs every time, so it takes a little bit. Now we have the descendants of Joachim, the captive. Shealtiel, his son, Malkiram, Pedaiah, Shenazar, Jeremiah, Hushama, and Nebadiah. So remember Joachim, how he was captive? He was one of the last kings of Judah. Joachim. Am I not spelling it right? Reading all these names, my eyes go blank. Uh-oh. He's either not put in or I forgot to spell his name correctly. We might need to add it, if anything. Oh, here we go. Yep, so I did misspell his name. We're going to go ahead and replace this in our reading. I just misspelled his name. But here he is. Remember, he was one of the last kings of Judah. He was held captive, and when he came out of captivity, he had lots of children, pushing this line down 60 generations, right? Give or take, right? It's probably, if we put everybody in, it would probably stretch down a bit further, but down here. Okay, moving on here. The descendants of Judah, again, to review: Perez, Herzon, Carmi, Hur, and Shobal. Let's go back. They're in there, you guys, because we also have Judah over here. And again, this is the descendants. This is not just like all the sons. So they're all in there. Just let's put some faith in that. Going on here, the sons of Hela: Zerah, Issachar, Ethnan. Sons of Ezra: Jether, Mered, Epher, Jalan. One of Mered's wives gave birth to Miriam, Shammai, Ishva, and the father of Eshitoma. Ishva, who was the father of Eshitoma. So these individuals, these were the ones that I was having such a difficult time placing. which is why I was not able to present this to you earlier. Still, I'm scrambled, as you can see. Hela, Asher, no, that's not correct. Hela, sons of Hela. And if I missed it, I apologize. I'll go ahead and have it put in. Shelah. Okay, you just have a few more minutes here. We're almost done. Asher and Hela. Zerah. Oh! So that is why I had a hard time. It's confusing. So it's mentioned Hela, right? But it's actually the wife, okay? We're using the wife's name. It's actually Asher, son of Curzon. Okay? That's where we had Zerah, Zohar, Ethnan, and Kos. So, there we go. They're found. Once lost, now found. Now Ezra. Let's go to Ezra. And even with looking up, like, who was Ezra in Chronicles line, it's so unclear. People don't even know, who's who. But them, I had to just put them under Judah. They were somehow related to the tribe of Judah, whether they were Gentiles or coming from other tribes and pledging allegiance to Judah. That might have been the case. So here we go. The lines, I put them in there. Anyways, you guys, this is everything from Abraham all the way to the first and largest tribe of Judah. We will cover more things, obviously, all the other tribes, etc. So if this is interesting to you, I applaud and commend you, because for me, of course, putting this together was fun, but reading it back to you, being a little bit confused, is not as much fun. But I will put the link to the non-editable document in here eventually, once I'm done with all the tribes, which will be just maybe today or tomorrow. I'll start adding the link, so if you guys want to actually look and explore it yourself, it will be there, if in case when the day comes you ever need it. But I appreciate you guys listening and staying patient with me. It's a learning journey for me, as everyone as well, so I appreciate it. I thank you. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. I'll talk to you very soon. Bye-bye.